safety. Nothing comes before safety. We must safeguard healthy environments for our children, protect their personal freedom, their confidence and motivation. Safety multiplies innovation. Since technology is evolving at a pace that exceeds lawmaking, we must identify simple solutions to protect our children's ingenuity. Remember, our next generation will also teach to revolutionize how we live, travel, design, and connect. The moment is now. I'm establishing Fostering the Future Together, a global coalition of nations committed to well-being of children through the promotion of education, innovation, and technology. Fostering the Future Together's mission is to ensure that every child can flourish in the digital era. I will be hosting Fostering the Future Together's inaugural meeting at the White House during the first quarter of 2026. Please join me to foster the future together. Lead this movement in your region of the world. Work with me to empower children to achieve new heights across our planet. Thank you.
Energy resources flow, corruption, blackmail, and sabotage will follow. Let me remind you, this is a country that understands only the language of force. Ukraine's ability to deter aggression will be the decisive factor in the future. Moreover, peace will never be sustainable without justice. Russia's numerous war crimes, from mass killings and attacks on hospitals to the abduction, deportation, and indoctrination of children, demand accountability. My country strongly supports the Special Tribunal for the Crime of Aggression under the auspices of the Council of Europe. We call on all states to endorse this initiative. Accountability must have real consequences: legal, political, and financial. As a co-founder of Register of Damage for Ukraine, Lithuania calls on all eligible states to join this vital effort. Russia's frozen assets must eventually be used to help Ukraine defend itself and rebuild. I also cannot stress strongly enough that the return of all deported Ukrainian children and illegally detained civilians must be a global priority. We urge all states and institutions to strengthen international efforts and to ensure their safe homecoming. Ladies and gentlemen, as crucial as Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine is, it is only part of the broader global upheaval. Lithuania watches the current situation in the Middle East with deep concern. We join the international community in calling for the full and immediate implementation of the ceasefire in the Gaza Strip. To prevent starvation, humanitarian aid must be allowed to reach those in need without obstruction. At the same time, the unconditional release of all remaining Israeli hostages remains a crucial step towards ending hostilities. Lithuania is firmly committed to a just and lasting peace in the Middle East. We condemn all the actions that undermine this goal. The ongoing mediation efforts led by the United States, Qatar, and Egypt deserve our full support. There is no alternative but to revitalize a credible political process towards a two-state solution, ensuring that the state of Israel and an independent, democratic, contiguous, sovereign and viable state of Palestine can live side by side in peace, security and mutual recognition, with Jerusalem as the future capital of both states. Sadly, many states remain trapped in cycles of conflict, crisis and long-term fragility. It is our shared responsibility to support those in need as destabilization spreads far and wide across international borders, regions, and continents. Our attention must also focus on the growing challenge of disinformation, which is increasingly being used to undermine democratic institutions and destabilize entire nations and societies. Lithuania calls on all members of the international community to defend truth as the supreme value and to fight attempts to rewrite history. Historical memory must be preserved. Ladies and gentlemen, as we face high global uncertainty, one choice remains entirely clear. Either we will repeat the mistakes of history, or we will find the resolve to defend the core principles of the United Nations. Today, Lithuania chooses to act. We call on the international community to respond to today's challenges with unity and determination. We call on the United Nations to return to its founding purpose, to prevent the scourge of war, to protect human dignity, and to uphold the rights of nations large and small. Together, we must ensure that no permanent seat on the Security Council grants any state permanent impunity. We must support those who defend the very principles of the UN Charter. In this spirit, I welcome the Secretary General's UNAT reform agenda, a timely blueprint for adapting this institution to the realities of today's world. His call for a more inclusive, effective, and accountable United Nations deserves our broad support. Lithuania stands firmly behind these efforts to reimagine multilateralism. We call on all states to strengthen our collective ability to act across all three pillars: peace and security, human rights, and development. Our message must be simple and straightforward. Aggression cannot win, and the principles of the UN Charter must prevail. Let us rise to the demands of this moment. Thank you very much.
On behalf of the Assembly, I wish to thank His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Lithuania. The Assembly will hear an address by His Excellency Marcelo Rebelo da Sousa, the President of the Portuguese Republic. I request protocol to escort His Excellency and invite him to address the Assembly.
Mr. Chairman, Excellencies, symbolic moment this one for United Nations. The celebration of 80 years, and for us, Portuguese, 70 years of membership. It's a time of judgment, of compromise, of renewal, multilateral ambition. Portugal is today what always aspired to be: an open country to the world, listening, dialoguing, building bridges, deeply multilateralist and guided by the Charter of the United Nations. A world with more cooperation and respect for international law is safer, more predictable, stable, peaceful, prosperous, plural, representative, and able to respond collectively to global challenges. 70 years ago, we were living still in dictatorship. And we found in this community the space to rediscover the real values and contributing to global solutions. And even now, in a changed world, fragmented, polarized, unpredictable, this community is a key community to defend basic principles of a coexistence between